our mission is to advance community access to data and the skills needed to drive data-informed and equitable decision-making in Milwaukee and beyond. Built into this mission is the belief that there's no story without data and no data without story. And that's largely where this project has come from. In that, behind every chart you see, every time you read some statistics, that's somebody's life behind there. The journal Child Trends published an article around Black youth achievement across the United States. And it was really highlighting areas where Black youth are not just really succeeding and making gains. And we thought, wouldn't this be great to put a lens on this locally and see what's happening in Milwaukee?
When I think about the why behind, this report, I really think about, one of them is the size of the population of Black youth. When you look at all the teens in Milwaukee, Black youth make up a large amount of that specific population. And, just because we've measured things the same way for many years doesn't mean we have to continue doing that, right?
One of the themes, perhaps this surprises nobody, but this was just so strongly elevated in all 8 of the data chats, was mental health. And the main things that were discussed around mental health is that there's a real lack of culturally competent care. What was brought up even more, there have to be more Black therapists. There have to be more people that Black youth truly want to talk to. And then it was also highlighted that there's a social stigma and cultural norms about Black people being able to talk about mental health issues. It was brought up that we have a Black mayor and it's encouraging, but there's a lot of white teachers in MPS, and that there needs to be like with the mental health, there needs to be this representation that's happening in order to authentically connect.
We hold so much stress in our body that when we use our body to remove that stress, the healing that you experience is holistic. So what we've measured so far and what we know we move the needle on, we decrease impulsivity, bullying, depression, fear, and anxiety, and increase empathy, self-efficacy, executive function, emotional regulation, coping skills, problem-solving skills, self-awareness, self-management, all of these things. So we know for sure that we're moving the needle, and we see this in our classrooms every day. We're always hesitant to ask people to give 3 days, 2.5 hours a day of their time to do the program. And yet when they do the program, the most consistent regret is that they didn't do it sooner.
And one of the things that the students wanted was this idea of peer-led mental health support. So this is a step along that way to get to a point where students can really begin to learn these skills to help each other in terms of mental health and dealing with some of these childhood traumas that Susan was mentioning. So we're not there yet. We have a lot of work to do, but we're going to get to that point where we're not only getting more students familiar with these techniques, but then using them to help each other in peer-led ways.
We are excited to continue to promote this work and expand it into more high schools and ensure that more students, more young people, more adults, and folks who work with our youth have access to these techniques so that we can all benefit from their positive impact.
The questions that we are using to help us structure the programming is what should students learn, how should students learn, and who should students learn from. So these listening sessions that we have been hosting are to ensure that we include youth voice, community voice, and partnerships to make sure that they are prioritized throughout this process to help us build out the structure and programming for this youth council.
Many people believe for the what should students learn was that many believe that they should learn life skills. And the second runner-up for that question was emotional and mental wellness. However, for the how should students learn, it was more of like a bigger, I'd say like correlation as many people believe that they should learn through experiences such as hands-on activities and field trips. And for the who should students learn, many people was kind of like more spread out, like the data was more scattered, as people wanted to learn from subject matter experts, and I think that was as far as like careers that they were interested in. They also wanted to learn from peers in their overall community.
We learned to be adaptable and innovative in the way we collect responses. We also learned to reframe the questions to expand limits, and that community is eager to see a radical shift away from traditional classrooms and instructions.